The man responsible has explained how it all happened.
In 1957, the BBC's Panorama programme showed a report about spaghetti growing on trees in Switzerland, and many of its 8 million viewers swallowed every single word. Here's our entertainment correspondent, Colin Patterson.
The past winter, one of the mildest in living memory, has had its effect in other ways as well. Most important of all, it's resulted in an exceptionally heavy spaghetti crop.
At 8:30 on the 1st of April 1957, in between Hancock's Half Hour and some heavyweight boxing, the current affairs programme Panorama featured one of the most famous April Fools of all time.
Spaghetti cultivation here in Switzerland is not, of course, carried out on anything like the tremendous scale of the Italian industry.
Michael Peacock was Panorama editor and responsible for giving the spaghetti tree hoax the go-ahead.
We had noted in an editorial meeting that April 1st was on a Monday, and Monday was our transmission day. A week or so later, Charles de Jager, who was a freelance cameraman, came into the office and they pitched the idea of the spaghetti harvest being an April Fool's joke. I gave Charles a budget of £100 and sent him off.
Another reason why this may be a bumper year lies in the virtual disappearance of the spaghetti weevil.
Spaghetti had been cooked so that it was flexible, and where they wouldn't stick, they used a bit of sellotape.
And some heavyweight support gave it backing.
The anchorman for Panorama was Richard Dimbleby. Now, Richard was the most respected reporter. He'd earned his reputation as a war correspondent. He knew perfectly well we were using his authority to make the joke work. He loved the idea and went at it with relish.
Many people are often puzzled by the fact that spaghetti is produced at such uniform length. But this is the result of many years of patient endeavour by plant breeders who've succeeded in producing the perfect spaghetti.
At the end of the item, Richard spoke to camera, said, "That's all for Panorama this April 1st, 1957.
Next day, it was all over the newspapers.
The press loved the story. Others hated it for misleading the nation. This is why it worked so well. We all felt very pleased with ourselves.
And almost 60 years later, it's still being talked about.
For those who love this dish, there's nothing like real homegrown spaghetti.
Colin Patterson, BBC News.
Lots of them believed it. You can hear more on stories like that on Witness every day on World Service Radio, or once a week on TV on BBC World News.
Well, it being April the 1st, some of the papers have got stories which we think are of dubious veracity.
Yes, if you don't want to know what they are, you might want to just possibly make yourself a cup of tea while we look at them.
But there's a cracker.
Yes, we love this story. I don't think this is true, but it comes from The Sun. It is, of course, April the 1st. It says it quite clearly up there. Fracking Palace, they're calling it. They are saying that the Queen is going to let them drill for shale gas in the gardens of Buckingham Palace. They've got a little picture here of what it might look like, the drill site with the cars parked on the lawn. And this is that's my favourite touch.
She's wearing a 10-gallon now. Several papers speculating on what might happen if there's a yes vote in the Scottish independence referendum, and suggesting in the Telegraph that there are plans to change the coinage and put Alex Salmond's head on the coins instead of Her Majesty's head. It would be sponsored by Sir Sean Connery. The first coins would come into circulation on April 1st, 2015. And also,
yes, go on.
There's a suggestion that there's a German aristocrat in the Times who's watching very closely because he's a direct descendant of the Stuarts in Scotland. His Royal Highness Ferdinand, Duke of Saxony, and he reckons, apparently this person, that if there's a yes vote and Scotland becomes independent,
he'll be King of Scotland.
He'll be called back to be the next King of Scotland rather than the last King of Scotland.
Very good, Bill. And I like this one as well. They're saying that if the referendum goes ahead and they vote a yes, Scotland will plan to move to the right after independence. So that instead of driving on the left-hand side of the road, they drive on the right-hand side. And what I love about this article is the diagram of this kind of spiral motorway. You go in driving on the left and then you come out driving on the right.
Well done to all those papers for their wonderful speeches.
That was The Guardian.